Okay, so today what we're going to be working on is the review for test number 4. Okay, so let's take a look at number 1. It says use long division to find the slant asymptotes. Alright, so remember, to find the slant asymptotes, you do long division, and the quotient is your slant asymptote. Okay, so I have here my numerator is 4x to the third minus 10x squared minus 4x minus 4, and then we're going to divide by the denominator, which is 2x squared plus 1. Okay, so I get here 2x squared times what will give me 4x to the third? That would be 2x. Multiply down, I get here, this is actually going to give me a positive 2x, so I'm going to put that underneath the negative 4x. And then 2x times 2x squared would be 4x squared, x cubed. Subtract. So that cancels. So negative 10x squared minus 0 is negative 10x squared. Negative 4x minus 2x would be negative 6x. And then bring down the negative 1. So 2x squared times what will give me negative 10x squared would be negative 5. So multiply down, I get negative 5. And then negative 10x squared. Subtract. So that cancels. I get 6x and plus 4 here. So my slant asymptote is going to be y equals, and it's an equation, so it has to be y equals 2x minus 5. All right, let's try the next one. All right, so my numerator of the next one is x squared minus 8x plus 3. And my denominator is x minus 4. Okay, so x times what gives me x squared? That's x. Multiply down is negative 4x and x squared. Subtract them. So that cancels, so I get negative 4x plus 3. X times negative 4 is negative 4x, so multiply down, I get positive 16. And negative 4x, subtract them. So that cancels, and I get negative 13. So my slant asymptote is y equals x minus 4. Okay, so let's try number 2. Okay, so number 2 says to find the inverse of the function. Remember, inverse is reflection over the line y equals x, and that means to switch x and y. All right, so number 2a, which is f of x, is equal to 3x plus 8. So I have y equals 3x plus 8. Switch x and y, that's the inverse. X equals 3y plus 8. Now solve for y. So minus 8, x minus 8 equals 3y. Divide by 3. Y equals x minus 8 all over 3. And that would be the inverse of f of x. Is written like that. Right, that negative 1. X minus 8 over 3. Okay, B is h of x. H of x. H of x is equal to negative the square root of x plus 8. All right, so I'm going to minus 8. Oh, sorry, make it y equals negative the square root of x plus 8. Switch x and y. X is equal to negative the square root of y plus 8. Minus 8 from both sides. X minus 8 equals negative the square root of y. Remember, this is really a negative 1 in front, so I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 1. So I get negative x plus 8 equals the square root of y. Square both sides to get rid of the y. So I have negative x plus 8 squared is equal to y. And then I'm going to do negative x plus 8 times negative x plus 8 equals y. So that's x squared minus 16x plus 64 is equal to y. And then I would write it as the inverse. So it's the inverse of h of x is equal to x squared minus 16x plus 64. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. Okay, so number 3 says, find the polynomial function whose zeros are given. All right, so I have x is equal to, we have 4i, so x is equal to positive negative 4i. And x is equal to square root of 5, which is positive negative the square root of 5. All right, so let's start with the 4i. So this is x is equal to plus minus the square root of 16, negative 16. Oh, let me rewrite that, sorry. So that was x is equal to positive negative 4i, which is x is equal to the square root plus negative the square root of negative 16. That would give me my 4i. All right, so I square both sides. So I get x squared is equal to negative 16. Add 16, I get x squared plus 16 is one of my factors. Okay, my other factor is going to come from x is equal to positive negative the square root of 5. So I square both sides. So I get x squared is equal to 5 minus 5 from both sides. My other factor is x squared minus 5. All right, now we're going to double distribute. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times negative 5 is negative 5x squared. 16 times x squared is 16x squared. 16 times negative 5 would be negative 80. And then I'm going to combine like terms and make sure I write as f of x. F of x is equal to x to the 4th. Negative 5x squared and plus 16x squared is 11x squared minus 80. Okay, let's try the next one. So my zeros are x equals 3, x is equal to 5, and x is equal to positive negative 2i. All right, let's start with the real zeros. So this is x minus 3 and x minus 5. So double distribute, I get x squared minus 8x plus 15. And then here, x is equal to positive negative square root of negative 4, which would give me 2i. Square both sides, I get x squared is equal to positive, x squared is equal to negative 4. And then I get x squared plus 4 is my other factor. All right, so now I'm going to multiply x squared minus 8x plus 15 times x squared plus 4. All right, so 4 times 15 is 60. 4 times negative 8x is negative 32x. 4 times x squared is positive 4x squared. X squared times 15 is 15x squared. X squared times negative 8x is negative 8x to the 3rd. And then I have x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. All right, we add them down. I get x to the 4th minus 8x cubed. 4x squared plus 15x squared is 19x squared minus 32x plus 60, and that's equal to f of x. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. All right, number 4 says to find all possible rational zeros. All right, so let me just move this over. So number 4 is the function is f of x is equal to 2x. F of x is equal to 2x squared, 2x cubed, sorry, minus 5x squared plus 7x minus 17. All right, so your possible rational zeros are the factors of the constant, so it's going to be positive negative 1, positive negative 17, over, divided by the factors of the leading coefficient. So it's positive negative 1, positive negative 2. So your possible rational zeros are going to be positive negative 1, positive negative a half, positive negative 17, and positive negative 17 over 2. Okay, so let's take a look at 4b. Okay, so that's g of x is equal to 3x to the third plus 32x squared plus 32x plus 27. All right, so the possible rational zeros is equal to positive negative 1, positive negative 3, positive negative 9, and positive negative 27 over positive negative 1, positive negative 3. Okay, so your possible rational zeros are positive negative 1, positive negative 1/3, positive negative 3, positive negative 9, positive negative 27, and that's it. All right, so let's try number 5. Okay, number 5 says find all the zeros of the given function. List the factors of the polynomial. Okay, so number 5, I have f of x is equal to x to the third plus 5x squared minus 18x minus 72. All right, so my possible zeros, my possible rational zeros are positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 3, positive negative 4, positive negative 6, positive negative 8. These are all the factors of my constant, 9, positive negative 12, positive negative 18, positive negative 24, positive negative 36, and positive negative 72. So type it in your calculator and look to see where it crosses the x-axis and see which one could possibly be a 0. Look where it crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to try 4. So I'm going to do f of 4. So this is when you're going to plug it in your calculator, right? And y equals, and you're going to quit out, and you're going to go to alpha, trace, and then do y1, parentheses 4, and that gives you 0. So then I know 4 is a 0. Now I'm going to do long division with 4. Not long division, sorry, I'm going to do synthetic division. So I have 4 is a 0. My coefficients are 1, 5, negative 18, negative 72. All right, so I bring down the 1, so I get 4, 9, 36, 18, and then 4 times 18 is 72, and I get 0. So I know one of my factors is x minus 4. Another factor is going to be x squared plus 9x plus 18. All right, so now I'm going to try to solve this, and I notice that this is actually factorable. So I multiply the first times the last, and I get positive 18 x squared. What multiplies to 18 adds to 9. That would be 6x and 3x. Negative, negative. That gives, positive 18. So it's positive 3, positive 6. So positive 18 and x squared. So now I'm going to group. And I have a GCF of x times x plus 6. GCF is positive 3 times x plus 6. So my factors are x minus 4, x plus 3, x plus 6 equals 0. These are your factors. Okay, my zeros, x equals 4, x equals negative 3, and x equals negative 6. These are your zeros. Okay, let's try 5b, sorry. Okay, so 5b is g of x is equal to x to the third plus 2x squared minus 6x minus 12. So my possible rational zeros are positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 3, positive negative 4, positive negative 6, positive negative 12. So plug it in your calculator. Look to see where it crosses the x-axis. It looks like it's crossing the x-axis at negative 2. So I'm going to try f of negative 2. Plug it in your calculator. Do alpha trace, y1, plug in negative 2. Does it give you a 0? Yes. So I'm going to do synthetic division with negative 2. 1, 2, negative 6, negative 12. So I get 1, negative 2, 0, 0, negative 6, and positive 12, which is 0. All right, so this is a factor so far. X plus 2 is a factor. And then x squared, no x because I have a 0 here, minus 6 equals 0. All right, so let's see. I'm going to draw a T-chart here. I'm going to move everything up. All right, so I get x is equal to negative 2. And I have x squared minus 6 equals 0. So I get x squared is equal to positive 6. X is equal to plus minus the square root of 6, and I take the square root of 6 on both sides. So my zeros are x equals negative 2, x is equal to the square root of 6, and x is equal to negative the square root of 6. My linear factors are x plus 2, x minus the square root of 6, and x plus the square root of 6. Okay, let's try 6. Okay, 6 says to find the vertical and the horizontal asymptotes. All right, 6. So I have f of x is equal to 3x squared plus 1 over x squared plus 10x plus 9. So your vertical asymptotes is when the denominator is equal to 0. So x squared plus 10x plus 9 is equal to 0. So I factor this, and this becomes x plus 9, x plus 1. So my vertical asymptotes are x is equal to negative 9 and x is equal to negative 1. All right, now my horizontal asymptotes. All right, so it's the degree ones. So it's 3x to the second divided by x to the second. So my degrees, the degree of the numerator is equal to the degree in the denominator. Numerator is equal to the denominator. So that means I'm left with just this. So that's y is equal to 3. That's your vertical asymptote. A horizontal asymptote, sorry. All right, let's take a look at B. F of x is equal to 2x squared minus 1 over x squared minus 3x. Okay, vertical asymptote. X squared minus 3x equals 0. GCF is x times x minus 3. My vertical asymptotes are at x equals 0 and x is equal to 3. Horizontal asymptotes. So we're looking at that there. So it's 2x squared over x squared. So my degrees are equal to each other. So then I'm left with just this. Y is equal to 2. All right, 7. 7 is f of x is equal to, it's the difference quotient. So it's f of x plus h minus f of x over h. And I have f of x is equal to 4x plus 7. All right, so I have f of x plus h minus f of x over h. And I have f of x is equal to 4x plus 7. All right, so this is my input. All right, so I'm inputting it into the x. So it's 4 times x plus h plus 7 minus, now I need minus f of x, which is the whole thing, 4x plus 7 divided by h. Now I simplify, distribute the 4, distribute the negative. 4x plus 4h plus 7 minus 4x plus 7, minus 7, sorry, over h. All right, so we have 4x minus 4x, 7 minus 7, so I'm left with 4h over h, and then the h is reduced, so I'm left with positive 4. All right, let's try 7b. So it's f of x plus h minus f of x over h, and f of x is equal to x squared. This is my input, and I'm inputting it into the x. So it's x plus h squared minus your f of x, which is x squared, over h. Now I need to simplify this. All right, so x plus h times x plus h minus x squared over h. All right, so I have x times x is x squared, x times h is xh, x times h is xh, h times h is h squared minus x squared over h. All right, so I have x squared minus x squared. I have xh plus xh is 2xh, 2xh plus h squared over h. All right, now I can reduce this, make the heart. The h is reduced to just h over here, so it's, my answer is 2x plus h. All right, let's take a look at number 8. Okay, so number 8 says, put the quadratic in vertex form by completing the square. Identify the vertex and the axis of symmetry. All right, so we have remember, vertex form is f of x is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. hk is the vertex, and the axis of symmetry is x is equal to h. Now notice in the formula it's negative h, and this is positive h. So h is the only one you change the sign. This is positive k, positive k. All right, so I have f of x is equal to x squared plus 10x plus 4. All right, so this is nice. My leading coefficient is a 1, so I don't have to divide everything. So I'm going to minus 4. F of x minus 4 is equal to x squared plus 10x. And then I'm going to do half. Half of 10 is 5. Squared is 25. Add that to both sides. So f of x minus 4 plus 25 is equal to x squared plus 10x plus 25. And then negative 4 plus 25 would be 21. So it's f of x plus 21 is equal to x plus 5 squared. And now I'm going to subtract 21 from both sides. So f of x is equal to x plus 5 squared minus 21. So my vertex would be negative 5, negative 21. And the axis of symmetry is x equals negative 5. Okay, let's take a look at 8b. Okay, so we have f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 12x plus 8. All right, so I'm going to subtract 8. F of x minus 8 equals 3x squared minus 12x, and then I have to divide by 3. So f of x over 3 minus 8 over 3 equals x squared minus 4x. Half of negative 4 is negative 2. Squared is 4, added to both sides, so I get f of x over 3 minus 8 over 3 plus 4 equals x squared minus 4x plus 4. All right, so we have this here. The negative 8 over 3 plus 4 is 4/3, so it's f of x over 3 plus 4/3 equals x minus 2 squared. So minus the 4/3, so f of x over 3 equals x minus 2 squared minus 4/3. To get rid of the 3, multiply both sides by 3. So that cancels on that side. F of x is equal to, you have to distribute. So it's 3 times x minus 2 squared minus 4. And now I need my vertex. Vertex would be 2, negative 4. And the axis of symmetry is x is equal to 2. Okay, number 9. For the given function, find the relative mins and maxes. Find the interval where the function is increasing and decreasing. Round any decimals to nearest hundredth. All right, so plug it in your calculator, the first one. You're going to draw a sketch. I want a sketch drawn. And so I have x, y. And your parabola looks like this. So I have one relative min, which is right here. So you can use your calculator. This comes out to be 2, negative 16. So that means this is 2, and this is negative 16. All right, so that's your relative min. So draw a number line underneath. You're going to plot the x value, which is 2. And then you're going to say to yourself, as going from left to right, my function here is decreasing. So put all minuses in here. And then my function increases here. So you're going to put all pluses here. At the ends, put infinity and negative infinity. So it's decreasing. Decreasing from negative infinity to 2. And it's increasing from 2 to positive infinity. Okay, type in b into your calculator, get the graph. All right, so your graph looks something like this. Okay, so we have a relative max and a relative min, so you use your calculator to find them. This point here is 0.71, comma 6.59. So that means this x value is 0.71. The y value would be 6.59. My max would be negative 0.71, comma 9.41. Okay, so this is negative 0.71 and then 9.41. Okay, so I have my, make sure you label them because I have two of them. So my max would be negative 0.71, comma 9.41. And my min would be 0.71, comma 6.59. Okay, so draw a number line right underneath. You're plotting the x values, which is negative 0.71 and 0.71. All right, so here I'm increasing to negative 0.71, so that's plus, 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 plus. And then I'm decreasing right in the middle. And then I am increasing again on the end. Okay, put infinity at the end, negative infinity. Okay, so now let's write this up here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I'm increasing from negative infinity to negative 0.71, and I'm also increasing from 0.71 to infinity, and I'm decreasing from negative 0.71, comma to 0.71. Okay, so that's it, and study. This is the first test for the second quarter. Have a good night.